Nietzsche once said, "The higher we soar, the smaller we appear to those who cannot fly." Power is not noise. Control is not chaos. It is silence. It is stillness. It is the unbreakable calm in the heart of the storm. Today, you will learn how to master the game without uttering a single word, to dominate like the silent forces of history. Welcome to the art of silent domination, where words are weapons, but silence is nuclear. Imagine walking into a room, and without uttering a single word, everyone senses your presence. Conversations slow down, eyes turn toward you, and an invisible weight fills the air. You've said nothing, yet you have commanded the room. This is the power of silent domination. In a world obsessed with loudness and noise, those who master silence wield a force few can resist. This is not passive silence. It's a deliberate, strategic quietness, the kind of silence that speaks louder than any voice. Today, we explore the ancient art of silent domination, a force as powerful as any weapon, and available to those disciplined enough to master it. Welcome to Silent Dominion 888. If you seek to influence, lead, and conquer without unnecessary words, you're exactly where you need to be. The myth of loud power. Society conditions us to believe that loudness equates to power. The ones who shout, argue, boast, they must be the strong ones, right? Wrong. True power is subtle. Real dominance is quiet. Throughout history, the most formidable leaders were not those who screamed the loudest, but those whose mere gaze could silence a crowd. Their restraint was their sword, their silence a shield. Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic emperor, once ruled not through bombast, but through calm presence. He led legions with discipline and unwavering steadiness, speaking when necessary, and only then. Silent influence versus verbal influence. There is a difference between those who need to speak to influence and those who influence by simply being. Words can be manipulated, twisted, and misinterpreted. Presence, however, is pure and undeniable. Silent influence works on a deeper psychological level. It taps into ancient primal instincts, the parts of us that recognize dominance not through noise but through certainty and self-control. Think of a lion. It doesn't roar every second. It moves with quiet purpose, and that alone establishes its authority over the wild. The silent man is the one others fear most, not because he threatens, not because he boasts, but because he understands the ultimate power to dominate quietly. The strategic power of pausing. One of the core tactics of silent domination is the strategic use of pauses. In conversations, moments of stillness shift the dynamics. While others rush to fill silences with nervous chatter, the silent leader remains composed. He listens, he observes, he pauses before responding, creating tension, a space where others become uncomfortable, revealing more than they should. A pause is not emptiness, it's loaded. It suggests that you are not desperate to speak or to fill the void. You are confident enough to embrace the silence. The silent dominator knows. The less you say, the more people listen when you finally speak. Mastering non-reaction. Another pillar of silent domination is non-reaction. To react is to give power to the external. To remain unaffected is to show internal mastery. When you react to provocation, you lower yourself. You show that others can disturb your peace. But the silent dominator absorbs the chaos around him without being moved by it. Carl Jung once said, "The man who controls himself controls the world." In silence, you control the narrative. You control your image. You control your destiny. Body language, speaking without words. While the silent dominator refrains from speech, he communicates volumes through body language. Direct, unwavering eye contact signals confidence. A calm, steady posture suggests unshakable composure. Minimal gestures display control. A slight nod can be more powerful than a 10-minute speech. Silent dominance is not about being mute. It's about replacing unnecessary words with powerful signals. When done correctly, your silence becomes the loudest voice in the room. The paradox: silence as a loud statement. Ironically, silence, when used intentionally, is one of the loudest statements you can make. It tells the world, I don't need validation. I'm in control. I choose when to engage. This intimidates those who are used to noise and chaos. It forces them to confront their own insecurity, their dependence on constant stimulation. The silent dominator stands apart, an immovable object in a world obsessed with speed and noise. He is rare. He is respected. He is feared. First reflection. As we step deeper into the art of silent domination, remember, silence is not weakness. It is a choice, a weapon, an armor. Master it, and you will no longer chase power. Power will chase you. Introduction to stillness. Stillness is not the absence of movement. It is controlled energy. In every great leader's arsenal, stillness is a weapon few understand and even fewer can wield. In battle, in negotiations, in life, the one who remains still gains the upper hand. In stillness, there is clarity. In stillness, there is patience. In stillness, there is power. Today, we dive deeper into how strategic stillness creates silent dominators, the ones who win without fighting, who conquer without announcing their intentions. The psychological power of stillness. When you remain still, others move around you. They reveal their hands, their emotions, their weaknesses. In chess, the grandmaster does not rush. Every move is deliberate. He waits for his opponent to expose himself. Life is no different. The strategic use of stillness forces others into impatience. In their rush to act, they make mistakes. In your stillness, you watch, you wait, you strike at the perfect moment. Sun Tzu wrote in The Art of War, "Move not unless you see an advantage. Use not your troops unless there is something to gain." The greatest moves are made in silence, and stillness is the soil from which they grow. Modern society's fear of stillness. We live in a world terrified of stillness. Noise, distractions, endless scrolling. These are symptoms of a mind running from itself. Society teaches us that if we're not constantly moving, talking, or doing, we're losing. But the silent dominator understands the truth. Stillness is a sign of strength, not weakness. It's in the pauses that greatness is formed. It's in the moments of reflection that empires are planned. Those who fear stillness fear themselves. Those who embrace stillness master themselves. Historical examples of strategic stillness. Throughout history, the greatest leaders wielded stillness like a sword. Marcus Aurelius ruled a vast empire with calm deliberation. He faced plagues, wars, betrayals, not with panic, but with composed authority. George Washington, in moments of defeat, would retreat, not react. His stillness confused his enemies and rallied his troops. Machiavelli taught that political power thrives on patience and careful calculation, not rash action. These leaders did not rush, they did not bluster. They moved when the time was right. And when they moved, the world shifted. The silent strategy. How to apply stillness. 1. Observe without reacting. In every room you enter, listen more than you speak. Observe the power dynamics. Watch for signs of weakness, insecurity, ambition. Silence your urge to react immediately. 2. Delay your responses. When challenged, pause. When questioned, think. A delayed response creates tension, and tension creates authority. 3. Move with purpose. When you do act, make your actions deliberate. No wasted movements, no unnecessary explanations. Speak when necessary, move when ready. 4. Master your internal world. Stillness externally begins with stillness internally. Meditate, reflect, build a fortress within your mind that cannot be breached by chaos. Stillness in leadership. In leadership, stillness is a magnet. People are drawn to those who remain calm under pressure, who do not flinch in the face of adversity. In times of panic, people do not follow the loudest voice. They follow the steadiest hand. Stillness shows that you are unshaken. Stillness shows that you have already conquered the battle within. Silence plus stillness equals unstoppable force. When silence and stillness are combined, they create an unstoppable force. Silent presence backed by unmovable stillness sends a clear, undeniable message. I am in control. And control, not noise, is what true power looks like. The silent dominator does not need to announce his strength. He needs only to be. Reflection. As we progress, understand this. Those who master stillness and silence become forces of nature. Inevitable, irresistible, and indestructible. Introduction: the hidden weapon. Most people believe that control comes from force, from authority, from being louder, stronger, faster. But real control, the kind that endures, is psychological. It is silent, unseen, and profoundly effective. Silent domination is about entering the minds of others without them even realizing it. It's about guiding their thoughts, shaping their emotions, influencing their actions, all without a word. Today we explore how silence grants you invisible control over those around you. The psychology behind silence. Silence triggers discomfort. In human interaction, long silences are rare. They create tension, and people instinctively try to break that tension. When you maintain silence, you shift the psychological balance. The other person begins to feel vulnerable. They talk more, reveal more, expose weaknesses. In negotiations, silence can force the other party to concede more than they intend. In conflict, silence disarms aggression. In leadership, silence commands respect. The silent dominator speaks not to be heard, but remains silent to be obeyed. The fear of the unknown. Humans fear what they do not understand. When you are silent, you become unpredictable. People can't read you, can't anticipate your next move. Unpredictability is power. The fear of the unknown makes others cautious, deferential, even submissive. They fill in the gaps of your silence with their assumptions. And those assumptions often make you larger, scarier, stronger than you truly are. When used wisely, silence transforms you into a mirror. People see in you what they fear, what they respect, and what they desire. The power of mystery. In an era where everyone overshares, silence is seductive. The less people know about you, the more they want to know. The less you say, the more valuable your words become. Mystery is a magnet. It pulls people toward you. Speak less. They listen more. Reveal less. They wonder more. React less. They respect more. The silent dominator uses mystery like a fisherman uses bait to draw others closer, to make them come to him, not the other way around. Controlling conversations without speaking one. The power of the pause. Use deliberate pauses when speaking. Before answering a question, pause. Before making a point, pause. Silence adds weight to your words and makes people hang onto every syllable. 2. Master active listening. Focus completely on the speaker. Nod slightly. Maintain eye contact. Let them feel your full attention without interruption. Listening, deep, silent listening, makes people feel seen, heard, and valued. In return, they become loyal. 3. Minimalism in speech. When you do speak, choose words carefully. Say only what is necessary. Powerful leaders are economical with their language. The more others talk, the more information you gather. The less you talk, the more power you retain. Historical examples. Abraham Lincoln was known for his calculated silence in meetings. He let others debate and argue, absorbing everything before offering his calm, decisive opinion, often ending the discussion immediately. Queen Elizabeth I ruled with an aura of mystery. She kept her personal thoughts guarded, revealing only what was strategically beneficial. Barack Obama during debates would often let opponents exhaust themselves while he remained composed and silent, answering only after measured thought. Each used silence not as absence, but as dominance, the ultimate control, silent presence. There is a level of mastery where your mere presence controls a room. You do not need to speak, you do not need to move. Your calm, silent energy fills the space. It is the energy of someone who is unbothered, untouchable, and undeniable. People instinctively follow such individuals. Why? Because they represent what others lack: self-mastery. Silence, real, potent silence, is not emptiness. It is controlled, concentrated power, reflection. Master silence, and you master people. Introduction: the Stoic Foundation. At the core of silent domination lies an ancient philosophy: Stoicism. Stoicism teaches that true power comes from mastering yourself, not others. A Stoic remains unmoved by external chaos. He is a rock in the river, unshaken by the current. He controls his emotions, his reactions, his desires. In a world that demands reaction, a Stoic stillness and silence are revolutionary acts. Silent dominators throughout history have, knowingly or unknowingly, embodied Stoic principles. Today, we explore how Stoicism can transform your silent domination into something even more powerful, something unbreakable. Stoicism, the philosophy of power. The Stoics believed that we have control over very little, only our thoughts, our actions, and our responses. Everything else, wealth, fame, reputation, is external and ultimately meaningless. A true Stoic does not seek to control the world. He seeks to control himself. And in controlling himself, he influences the world effortlessly. Imagine being untouchable. No insult, no betrayal, no failure can shake you. That's what Stoic philosophy offers, and that's the foundation of silent domination. Key Stoic principles for silent leaders. 1. Control what you can, ignore what you can't. Focus your energy on what is within your power. Don't waste emotion on things beyond your control. A silent leader understands that outrage, fear, and despair are distractions. 2. Practice emotional discipline. Emotions are natural, but uncontrolled emotions are weaknesses. A Stoic feels everything, but chooses which emotions to act on. 3. Accept reality without complaint. Life is harsh, people betray, plans fail. The Stoic accepts this without bitterness. Acceptance makes him unbreakable. 4. Speak less, think more. Silence is not about muteness. It's about measured, thoughtful communication. A Stoic speaks only when words serve a purpose. 5. Prepare for adversity. Premeditatio malorum. Expect hardship. Prepare your mind for setbacks. Foreseeing misfortune steels the mind against panic. How Stoicism enhances silent domination. Stoicism teaches restraint. And restraint is power. When you don't react emotionally, you confuse those who expect drama. When you don't chase after validation, you set yourself apart in a society addicted to attention. When you remain silent in chaos, you become a beacon of calm, and people are drawn to calm in times of crisis. The Stoic leader does not command loyalty through fear or bribery. He commands it through example. Historical Stoic leaders. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor, faced plagues, wars, personal loss, yet remained calm, reflective, and just. Seneca, advisor to emperors, lived through political turmoil with grace and resilience. Epictetus, born a slave, rose to become one of history's greatest philosophers by mastering only what he could control, his mind. Their silence was not weakness. It was the ultimate form of strength. Becoming a modern Stoic leader. In a world obsessed with shouting, drama, and endless noise, the silent Stoic leader is rare, and that rarity is power. Master your emotions, control your reactions, embrace silence, and through that silence, command the world. Reflection. True leadership is not in domination of others. It is in domination of oneself. Introduction. Why reaction is weakness. In the modern world, reaction is everywhere. People are triggered by the smallest events, a glance, a comment, a post, and they explode. But reaction is weakness. It shows that your emotions control you, not the other way around. The silent dominator understands. If they can provoke you, they can control you. Mastering the art of non-reaction is not just about staying calm. It's about becoming untouchable. Let's uncover how non-reaction is one of the most deadly weapons in your arsenal. The power of non-reaction. When you don't react, you force others to reveal themselves. In negotiation, silence after an offer creates discomfort, and discomfort forces concessions. In conflict, non-reaction frustrates your opponent, leading them to overreach and make mistakes. In relationships, emotional detachment makes you appear mysterious, desirable, powerful. Non-reaction is control in its purest form. It sends a message. I am not moved by you. I am above you. Why people crave reactions. Humans crave attention. When they can't get your attention, they seek your reaction, even a negative one. A reaction, good or bad, validates their existence. When you deny them this reaction, you deny them power. You remain calm, composed, indifferent. And this indifference drives them insane. It's psychological warfare at its finest. Tactics to master non-reaction. 1. Pause before responding. Always take a moment before reacting. A deep breath, a silent count to 3. Anything to break the automatic emotional response. 2. Control facial expressions. Your face should be unreadable. No smiles, no frowns, only calm neutrality. Let them guess what you're thinking, and let them guess wrong. Detach emotionally. Understand that insults, criticism, and attacks are reflections of others, not of you. Detachment is your shield. Practice internal dialogue. When provoked, remind yourself internally, this is a test. I am not here to react. I am here to dominate. Visualize the bigger picture. Momentary victories mean nothing if they cost you emotional control. Always think long-term. Historical masters of non-reaction. Napoleon Bonaparte was infamous for his calm in battle. His soldiers described him as almost emotionless in the face of death and chaos. Winston Churchill faced bombings and political attacks with an unshakable demeanor, inspiring an entire nation to stay strong. Nelson Mandela spent 27 years in prison without bitterness, emerging stronger, not broken. Their silence, their non-reaction, made them titans of history. The silent power in modern life. In today's world of social media outrage, news hysteria, and constant provocation, the one who masters non-reaction becomes a god among mortals. He is the calm in the storm, the eye in the hurricane, the mountain that cannot be moved. In silence, he watches. In stillness, he waits. And when he strikes, it is with devastating precision. Reflection. Non-reaction is not passivity. It is power refined. It is patience weaponized. It is the art of psychological dominance, the kind that wins wars without battles. Master it, and you will dominate not just people, but life itself. Introduction: Inner peace, the foundation of power. True power is not loud. True power is silent. It flows from within. At the heart of silent domination lies something deeper than tactics: inner peace. Without inner peace, silence is empty. Without inner peace, stillness is fear. Without inner peace, non-reaction is weakness disguised. Inner peace transforms silence into authority, stillness into confidence, and non-reaction into invincibility. Today, we uncover how to build a fortress within, one so strong that the chaos of the world breaks against it, powerless. And to guide us, we turn to the philosopher who understood the raw forces of power like no other, Friedrich Nietzsche. Nietzsche and the power of inner strength. Nietzsche wrote, "He who has a why to live for can bear almost any how." This is not just about survival, it's about domination. When you know who you are, when your purpose is clear, the storms of the world become irrelevant. Nietzsche believed in the concept of the Übermensch, the overman, the individual who transcends the mediocrity of society through willpower and self-mastery. The overman is not concerned with noise, validation, or approval. He is silent not because he has nothing to say, but because he has no need to explain himself. He embodies power that flows from inner certainty. Inner peace is power. Inner peace is not passive. It is not about retreating from the world. It is a weapon, a sharp, polished sword. Inner peace allows you to move without panic, to act without desperation, to dominate without needing to scream. When you possess inner peace, external chaos becomes background noise. You see more clearly, you move more precisely, you react less and control more. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." Master your soul, and the world cannot touch you. How to build unbreakable inner peace. 1. Know your purpose, Nietzsche's why. Without a purpose, you are a ship without a compass. Find your why, write it, repeat it daily, live by it. 2. Embrace discomfort. Nietzsche taught that pain and suffering are necessary for growth. Don't avoid discomfort. Welcome it as the forge that sharpens your mind. 3. Detach from validation. Approval is addictive. Break the addiction. Act because it aligns with your purpose, not because you seek applause. 4. Practice radical self-responsibility. Nietzsche said, "No one can build you the bridge on which you, and only you, must cross the river of life." Own your path. Blame no one. Excuse nothing. 5. Cultivate daily stillness. Carve out time every day to sit with your thoughts, without distraction, without noise. Stillness is where inner peace grows. Inner peace in leadership. Leaders with inner peace are magnetic. In times of panic, they are calm. In times of anger, they are composed. In times of doubt, they are certain. Their silence speaks louder than orders. Their stillness commands loyalty. They are rare, and what is rare is valuable. Nietzsche's ultimate lesson: become the master of yourself. Nietzsche believed in self-overcoming, the idea that your greatest enemy is yourself. To dominate others silently, you must first dominate the chaos within you. You must become the master of your emotions, your desires, your fears. He who cannot obey himself will be commanded. Nietzsche, obey yourself. And no one can command you. Reflection. Inner peace is not the absence of conflict. It is strength in the face of conflict. It is the eye of the storm. Silent, powerful, unshakable. Master your inner world, and your outer world will submit. Introduction. Why most people fail. Most people will never experience true power. Why? Because they are too loud, too reactive, too desperate for validation. They scream their emotions. They broadcast their weaknesses. They expose their fears. But true dominators, the ones history remembers, operate differently. They move in silence. They rule without words. They dominate without noise. Today, we unveil the blueprint, a complete practical strategy for mastering silent domination. Step 1. Build inner peace. Before you can dominate others, you must master yourself. Without inner peace, every insult will hurt. Every betrayal will break you. Every failure will shake you. Inner peace transforms you into an immovable force. Know your purpose. Embrace discomfort. Detach from validation. Accept reality as it is. Nietzsche's wisdom. Become who you are. Only when you are complete within can you dominate without. Step 2. Master the art of non-reaction. In a world full of noise, your silence is deafening. Non-reaction is not weakness. It is deliberate control. Pause before responding. Maintain an unreadable expression. Detach emotionally. See every provocation as a test of your will. React less, control more. The one who reacts least controls the situation. Step 3. Cultivate strategic stillness. Stillness is your power source. When others panic, you stay calm. When others rush, you move deliberately. Stillness creates space, and in that space, you see what others miss. Listen more than you speak. Move with precision. Never let urgency dictate your actions. The calmest man in the room is the most dangerous. Step 4. Speak sparingly, act decisively. Words are cheap. Actions are currency. Speak only when necessary. When you speak, make every word count. When you act, move decisively. Minimal words, maximum impact. Let others waste their energy with noise. You conserve yours for when it matters. Step 5. Master the power of presence. When you walk into a room, your silence should be louder than their shouting. Stand tall. Hold eye contact. Project calm. You don't have to announce your authority. Your presence does it for you. Silent presence triggers deep psychological responses. Respect, fear, admiration. Step 6. Embrace mystery. People fear what they do not understand. Reveal little. Let others guess your intentions. Keep your emotions hidden. Mystery magnifies power. The less they know about you, the more they respect you, and the less they can hurt you. Step 7. Control the narrative without speaking. Leadership is not about giving orders, it's about controlling perception. Through silence, stillness, and calculated actions, you create an image of strength that others cannot ignore. You don't tell them you are powerful. They feel it. You don't convince them you are dominant. They believe it. Final words: become a silent force. Silent domination is not just a tactic. It's a way of life. It's about becoming the storm, calm on the surface, unstoppable underneath. It's about living Nietzsche's philosophy. I am not a man, I am dynamite. You don't need noise. You don't need approval. You don't need validation. You need silence, discipline, and an unbreakable mind. Master this, and you will not just survive the world, you will rule it. If you found power in silence today, subscribe to Silent Dominion 888. Master yourself. Rule the world. Join the Dominion. Welcome to Silent Dominion 888.